I am the host, Richard Ravenbrook, a man, a life coach, and a spiritual mentor who has endeavored to find real spiritual truth and self-enlightenment. With experiences in various ministry types, pagan traditions, and even magical paths. With a love for Mother Earth and the balance of life, I work to channel spirit and to help educate and mentor those striving to deconstruct from mainstream religion and to empower them to find the divinity within themselves and to the truth around them. The messages are focused on everyday life, creating an environment of real coexistence, a world of mutual respect, love, and dignity. The pagan preacher is all things, the preacher and the pagan, speaking from the wisdom of spirit. Welcome, everyone. Let's just take a few minutes to collect our thoughts, to be at peace within our own minds. Whether we're driving down the road listening, whether we're in our bedroom or our living room or in our sacred space, let's just take a moment before we begin and just breathe out the stress. Focus on what Spirit would have us to learn, what Spirit would have us to share. Just breathe in the good, breathe out the bad. Today, everybody, what we want to talk about is the power to be us. You know, I know that I have ministered this several times, and it seems like I sometimes do the same podcast or the same teaching or the same sermon, same lecture, whatever it is that you choose to call it. Because I see outside and I see within all the people that I meet, so many people living within their own mental prison, an emotional bondage that they keep themselves in, afraid of being who it is that they are, afraid of just letting go and showing the world who they are inside. Today is about learning who you are as a person and believing that whatever it is on this earth, you are entitled to it. Now, I'm not talking about selfishness and greed and materialistic things. What I'm talking about is the spiritual things. We all are on this earth together. Though we may have different cultures, we may have different traditions, we live in a world today of mixed cultures and mixed traditions. Most of us, including myself, have many different bloodlines or many different cultures within myself. I believe that when I look upon myself, there's 8 different cultures within my DNA. But what this is about freedom of exploration, closed practices, the word cultural appropriation. Those words are a hindrance to enlightenment. Now, people would say that, well, you disrespect or dishonor any religion that has a closed practice, or if you try to participate actively in a culture that is not yours, then you are dishonoring that particular culture. I would disagree. because we all are human beings put on this earth. I believe that there is only one truth, one ultimate truth, that we all have slightly different paths to get to that one truth, but that they all within themselves are the same, that all these many paths all lead to the same place. But when we restrict, when we withhold based upon race, gender, culture, we limit what spirit can do. Now, I know many traditions, many religions, many lifestyle practices, even though they may be a closed practice, they still will initiate those outside of their particular culture. But there are many still that will not. I myself have been victim of attacks when it comes to trying to understand other cultures, trying to understand their religions. People saying that, you don't have the right to understand their religion. But as human beings upon this earth, you do have the right to truth. No one has the right to withhold truth from you. And I do not believe in any part of me that any god or goddess would have that truth withheld from you either. We as people, we tend to want to control, and we may have good reason to do so. Many cultures out there, many traditions out there came and were, their traditions and their cultures, and they were under massive attack. We know that. We know over the past 100 years or even more that different cultures have been sadly destroyed, slaughtered, defamed, but we have to reach a point in our existence that we understand what we have to do for the better good. We can't have separations anymore. What if we all came together and opened that truth to each other? This is what I was taught, and they can teach what they were taught. You're going to say, well, that could be a really dangerous thing, and I believe when spirit is involved, it's not dangerous at all. But sharing our experiences, sharing what it is that we feel inside, what Spirit has told each and every one of us, I believe that is the future. That is the future of enlightenment, the future of humanity. All our different religions are those paths that all lead to the same place. We may have different labels. We may have different terminology for different things. We may have different labels. We may even describe them completely different. But ultimately, they all come back to the same place. I believe that firmly. We all know that none of us here on earth know the complete truth. Maybe we're not supposed to know the complete truth. But what we do know is we are here. We are here together in all of our cultures. Doesn't matter the type of race you are, the skin color, or these things don't matter. We are here together upon this earth. So many of us are afraid to be who it is that we are inside. Because someone will say, well, you're trying to be something that you can't be because you're not that culture. Well, number one, they don't know your culture. But two, and the most important thing, is that culture culture, shouldn't matter. Truth is truth, and everyone is entitled to that truth. Nobody, at least in my opinion, and I may be wrong, I've been wrong before, but I do not believe that I am. Spirit over and over and over, says if people would just be who it is that they are, that this world would be so much of a better place, that we would live in peace with each other. I've often talked about mutual respect of differences, understanding that we're all different and that it's okay to be different, that we shouldn't be offended when someone is different, and we shouldn't feel an obligation to change someone. What if we all just lived together on this planet, focused on the common good of humanity, and we let the gods do the rest? Just let the gods do the rest. We, as a people, can work together, allowing people to be who it is that they are, allowing each person to share what they feel within. Because what might be right for them may not be right for you, but someone else that is listening, that person feels it within themselves, and it's confirmed within their spirit that what that person is saying they identify with. They feel it too. We all are from different tribes. And I say tribes because we do come from our own individual cultures when it goes all the way back. But being ourselves is a matter of listening to ourselves. The stopping of always trying to be the people pleaser, always trying to do what it is that makes everybody around just happy. Our parents may want us to be a preacher. Our parents may want us to be a lawyer. Our parents may want us to be the doctor. But Spirit says, no, you're going to work with the wildlife. You're going to be a zoologist and help my creation. Whatever it is that you are within, whatever practice or no practice that draws to you right now, because there are those out there that are learning something different. You may not be called to a spiritual practice right now, but you may be called to something a little bit more physical, like saving this earth. But somewhere down the line, you will find your spirituality. It's just the hope that you will be who it is that you are on the inside, and not just what someone says is right for you, but the way you feel is, or should I say, what you know is right for you. We live on this earth, and we can see it. It's not just me. We can see our neighbors, we can see our friends, we can see just how we interact and socialize with friends and family, and we don't talk about the things that we know will upset others, do we? Even though it may be important to us. Or we live with family that we know wouldn't agree with the things that we do, so we kind of, either we don't talk to them anymore, or we hide those things when we're around them. We put ourselves in that prison, that emotional bondage, because we just can't seem to break out of these chains of control that religion has put upon us. Religion is man-made dogma, doctrine, written words made to control. Spirit is about freedom. Spirit is about an inner knowledge. Those hidden mysteries of this world and this universe that dwell within us, if we just learn to tap into that and tap into that learning. You know, I know many people out there aren't Christian, and they're not, but there is a phrase, you know, and it fits with any religion. But it says basically, in layman's terms, that we need no man to teach us, because the Spirit will teach us all things. And Spirit does if we listen. How many times have you been at peace, just sitting in the woods, the forest, the trees? You feel at peace, don't you? With the birds and the... This is why. Because it's in that quiet time that Spirit can be heard. That we feel at home. Because all these things that make us so comfortable, our TVs, our TV shows, our cars, all these luxuries that we have upon earth that make our life maybe a little bit easier, have taken us away from the goodness of what life really is. Life wasn't meant to work and pay bills. Life is about the experience of living. But we just quit living as a people, didn't we? We stopped being who Spirit calls us to be. We're all different for a reason. But society nowadays wants to program everyone to be the same. We go to public school or whatever school and we learn the same thing. Each one of us, we have to memorize the same thing. So we all believe the same thing. We're indoctrinated into something that many times isn't even the truth. And we fail to be who we are, who we truly are, because of such indoctrination. We don't teach our children anymore to be who they are. I'm not saying all parents do this, because I know many parents do. But many more subliminally or without real knowledge of what they're doing use their opinions, and sometimes push their opinions so hard that we don't do what it is that we were meant to do. We live most of our life fairly unhappy compared to what we could have been, because we weren't doing what we were meant to do. We weren't being who it is that we truly are within. Spirit says that we cannot have peace upon this earth until we understand ourselves and be open with ourselves. When we can accept each other for being ourselves. When we can work together as one people. Though we may be different traditions and different cultures, maybe we look different, maybe we act different. But those things are not reasoning to divide us. Bad influences, bad people, and evil influences have separated us, and they've done this for a reason. They've separated us to limit us, to limit our strength, to limit our power, because together we can accomplish anything. absolutely anything. World peace. You're going to say, well, that's just impossible. No, it's not. You know why it's impossible? Because you believe it's impossible. Peace is as simple as respect. When you respect each other, when you respect each other's choices, it no longer matters to you what other people do. As long as they're not hurting anyone unintentionally or intentionally, let them do what it is that they choose to do. If they're being a contributing member of society, then let them be who it is that they want to be. Peace comes from that kind of respect. Respect as far as religion, that we don't push one religion. We don't tell people that that their religion is wrong and their culture is wrong and only yours is right. Because that's not respect. You're going to say, well, I have to because my God says I have to. Remember what I said in the beginning of this podcast? What if we just lived together in peace and in respect, that we let the gods do the rest? If God is truly there and God demands conformity, if God demands all these different things, then let God show himself to his people. Whatever God you serve or goddess, let them do their part, but let us do our part. We weren't put on this earth as slaves. We weren't put on this earth to worship something that we cannot see, that we cannot feel, that we cannot touch. But when we get into the spiritualness, we'll find that you can feel, that you can see. Some of the things I'm going to talk about over the next year can be very deep, very complex for somebody that is in a fleshly sense. That's why I ask before we begin to breathe. Let out the stress. Let out the pressures of this world. The list of have-to-dos. Because sometimes we can get so busy on the to-do list that we forget what we're even doing it for. We forget why it is that we do what we do. We forget what's important. We forget what's priority in our life. We wonder why we're depressed, why we're unhappy, why we just don't feel like things are the way they're supposed to be. Because they're not. They're not the way they're supposed to be. You were not made to get up in the morning and go to work, to draw a paycheck so you can pay your light bill and your water bill and be a slave to all these corporate leaders. You were made to experience in fullness this life, this world, and everything this world has to offer. You're entitled to that truth. You're entitled to be who it is that you are within. We listen to people. We take their advice. But we don't have to follow that advice. We don't have to accept that in our life. The biggest thing about this life is choice. You, my friend, have a choice. You are the leader of your own destiny. You can be anything in this world that you choose to be. And no one can stop you. No one can halt you or hinder you. It's all about the drive. It's all about how bad you want things. And Spirit wants to give you that drive, give you that empowerment, give you that knowledge inside that it's right there in front of you. All you got to do is just take that step forward. Take that step forward. Listen to that small voice that's within you. Trust it. Begin to follow it. You're going to say, but I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. That's just it. Just take the step forward in a dark room. In that blindness. Though you cannot see what is in front of you, you hear that voice calling. And you take that step forward. And when you take that step forward, soon you will find yourself in a place where everything begins to lighten up, where things begin to become better understood and more enlightened. The first step, the beginning, the place to begin, the place to start, is just that step forward. What could that step forward be? It could be reading a book. It could be just following somehow, somewhere, that thing that draws you. Whatever it is. If it draws you, it's drawing you for a reason. Don't listen to the haters out there that say you can't do that you can't be that. Listen to that drawing within you. And where it says go, you go, friend. We've got to get to the point where we just let go and we bring those walls down. Where we just allow Spirit to guide us. Because we all do understand that we are spirits in a physical vessel for a physical experience, correct? In order to understand our existence, who we truly are, you have to understand that you are more than what you see in the mirror. You are powerful. You are far more than what people see you as, what they've claimed you to be. You are anything that you choose to be in this world. All you got to do is have enough belief, just enough gumption within you to rise up and to be that person that you are. Be the person that you are within. To be the leader of yourself. Everything else comes after that. Everything else it's a process. But once you take that first step, it's like the rest just becomes, I don't want to say a breeze, because with real knowledge and real wisdom will come some trials and tribulations. Why? Because we make mistakes. We make mistakes. That's how we learn. We don't judge people by those mistakes, because we all have made such mistakes. And there are no mistakes that are greater or smaller in this existence. all mistakes are seen as the same. We learn from them. We move on. We climb the ladder of enlightenment upon learning those lessons. Where do you begin? That first step. Take that first step. Believe in yourself. Believe in that drawing that is within you, that voice that is within you. Be who it is that you are. Stop listening to the haters. Stop listening to those evil influencers out there that would stop you, that would hinder you, that would quench your drive to be that person that you are. Maybe you're that person that's going to save many people. You may be that doctor that saves many people. You may be that lawyer that protects many people. You may be the police officer that protects people. You may, whatever it is that you would be the best at it. But be who it is that you are meant to be. If it be that spiritual teacher, that guru, that mentor, that teacher, be that person. Follow the path that calls to you. Because you are entitled to the truth. You are entitled to everything Mother Earth has to offer. Thank you, everybody. I hope the Spirit has confirmed within you something that I've said today. Just take some time in the quietness to breathe. This world can be overwhelming, but there is hope. And that hope lies in us as a people, learning that mutual respect of differences and learning that it's okay to be different. Learning that you aren't obligated to save anybody. The only obligation you have in this world is you. And maybe your children, your family. Just think about these kind of things. Be blessed, everybody, and blessed be. Thank you, everyone. This is Richard Ravenbrook. From my heart to yours, I hope you are blessed. Please be a blessing. Share these podcasts. Share my short videos. Tell the world the work that's being done. Help me open the minds of those so closed. Help me bring into the fold those seeking truth and enlightenment. Be blessed.